Hello and welcome back to Unprofessional Therapy, where we don't have degrees, we just have decades of experience. I'm
No
Brad,
degree, just asking. I am Michael.
and today we're going to talk about losing my marbles because I lost my marbles such a long time ago. And I can't find. That's
We're still looking for them.
what movie was that in? Where he lost his marbles and then he found them?
I don't know.
It was
I'm
something
usually
in the 80s,
I'm
90s.
usually good with movie stuff, but
Yeah, I thought you would know that one.
I've
Dang it.
forgotten it. The
We
brain.
should actually talk about in our we should have an additional catchphrase and random movie shit.
Indeed. Yeah,
Okay,
that always.
so you wanted to talk about this, and I wanted to make sure I used my losing my marbles. So that's what we're gonna do. I do. So we'll talk about my stuff. My stuff is more about existential dread, not really, but
Okay.
it's a little bit deeper topic
I love
than
cosmic horror. It's another one of my favorite movie types.
a what? Yeah,
Cosmic horror. I love that as a movie type, but yeah,
you
not
do. I
quite
know
what
that.
you're going for, I guess. But anyhow,
No, not here, not here. So anyway, I'm going to talk about belief systems and stuff. And it might trigger some religious people. So if you're religious, stick around and get triggered.
exactly. Hang out for that. You'll enjoy it one way or
Yeah.
another. Yeah.
So Michael, you want to talk about how you are absolutely 100% losing your mind if it's not already gone. So tell me your
Indeed.
experiences.
So here's the thing. Without getting into specifics, or we'll get into some specifics too, but like I don't want to be one of those old people that loses their mind, that doesn't understand things, that is out of touch with reality. And I'm saying old people like that's something else. That's all of us that are lucky enough are going to get to that point. I hate that idea. And I'm wondering, do you have any thoughts about that yourself? Do you ever worry about that?
You know what? Yes, it is something I think about quite a lot because my wife is a bit younger than me, and she's going to have to take care of me, or she shouldn't have to. I can't say that she doesn't have to take care of me, but
She gets
knowing
to.
her, she will.
Okay.
And I don't like to be a burden. I
Wow.
just don't like. I don't want to be that burden, and uh, that's what bothers me because I know I will eventually lose my mind. I just hope that it's not prolonged.
So yeah, wow, my brain is just racing all over the place now. It just kicked into high gear as soon as you said it, because this now goes into, okay, let's rein it in, and more specifically what I'm talking about, and that is what I'm talking about. Um, we see more and more throughout our country, throughout America at least, um, more problems that deal with Alzheimer's, dementia, and those type of things. However, what I've noticed and what has become apparent to me working as a pharmacy tech and a DME specialist, durable medical goods, selling that, I deal with a large section, dealt with a large section of the geriatric population and people trying to serve those. There's the sandwich generation, which they call the people that are in between, the caregivers, the ones that are taking care of their own kids, and there's sandwich between their parents, taking care of them. And what I saw a lot, though, was them not understanding what their parents were saying and just dismissing them as being crazy, and they don't know what they're talking about. But as somebody on the outside, you have to listen with empathy also, because I could understand where the parents were going, and I'm not sure that just made me as crazy as they were, or and we're throwing around these unprofessional terms like crazy and insane and this and that or whatever, but you know, we are unprofessional, so there you go. But you have to listen with empathy, and it will make more sense. And I think why this is an issue for me is it really does boil down to communication a lot of times. It's not that the person isn't making sense. They're making a certain amount of sense to themselves, and it's up to you to whether you listen or not. And while I can be good with that sometimes, sometimes I'm not. And sometimes it gets frustrating if you are too close to the situation.
That's kind of my point, is if you're, and that's bringing me back to the point of my wife. She will be too close to the situation, but and I've seen her take care of her dad, and I've seen her right now. She's taking care of her grandmother. She watched her dad go to from stage 4 cancer and pass away in 6 months, and with her grandmother, she's been caring for her for almost 2 years, which is another issue. And you are in a similar situation that's even longer.
Yeah.
And with her, she just does it, and I think that's a cultural difference. In America, we have a short attention span.
Well, and it's also very much, I think, about the cultural identity of wanting to stay young and vibrant, and that just isn't the reality that everybody's heading for. And so, again, not the lucky ones. Keeping it in perspective, you're lucky to get old, and you're lucky to do. I made that distinction when I was talking about my birthday just this past month or whatever. A lot of people talked about getting older, and I was like, well, it's a privilege to be able to do that. Not everybody gets it. So, wow, that's a heavy topics and stuff like that.
Oh
today.
my God, you just triggered in me the other thing I was thinking this morning.
Uh-oh.
It's a sad story. When this was pre-2000, so right around just before 2000, right around 2000. I worked at a small company that was a manufacturing company, no longer in business now. There was a couple that worked in the factory floor. They had met, they were in their early mid 20s. They had met in high school or close to it, or maybe even they met at the place of work. They had drug problems, they had marital problems, and they were blah, 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 fight. I think they both passed away before they were 30.
Wow.
So when you say it's a privilege, you're not lying.
Yeah. Wow.
And you and I can come up with people that we both know that are no longer here.
Yeah, easily. And hitting our 50s, it seems like there's another wave of those that are coming and losing and stuff like that. Well, anyway, not trying to go down a negative road or a bad road here. I mean, these are things that need to be talked about, and I think that's something else too. But my point was communication. My point was it always comes back to communication, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So when dealing with other people, well, anyhow, so let's get back to my fear of losing my mind.
Yeah, go back to you.
I know that I can communicate poorly with people. I try very hard, and I can be understanding and so on. But I also know on the inside, this ties into last week's subject, how you present yourself and how you actually are on the inside. I'm like, you're so stupid. What is wrong with you? Why can't you?
Yeah.
And I'm sure people do the same thing with me.
Oh, yeah, with us. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's, a lot of times we're just talking at two different levels, whether that be higher or lower.
Yeah.
So it's just,
how many people right now in the comments think we're being stupid?
We'll never hear from those people, I hope.
Those would be the first people that say anything. Those are the trolls.
They'll be excited.
And for those of you who say it, hi, troll.
Indeed. Anyhow, so my point though is that one, I don't actually want the physical problems of losing and forgetting things and having that happen. There's a lot more that we know about today that we can try to do to prevent that. But also a large portion of it is making sure that whoever you are communicating as best you can. Open yourself up and take a little extra time, maybe before you say things, to make them clear. I was going to say, take a little more time explaining things to people, but then that can be annoying too.
Mansplaining?
Yes. Mansplaining is what everybody should do.
Let me tell you what you're trying to say.
Please. Yes, I think everybody should start mansplaining now, men and women.
You just want to die.
I'm trying to bring all the trolls out at once. So
That'll do it.
that'll do it.
Please
But
mansplain to us, troll.
I think that though, yeah, so it could be a problem if you do that poorly.
Well, and
but
I agree with you on the communication. I've got to get this out of my head because if I don't, I'll forget it because getting old. One thing you can do to assist yourself from losing all your marbles. I just love that. I love that phrase. Always have. Is to challenge your brain regularly.
right.
You know,
Right.
I still write. I should 2 seconds ago before we started recording, I showed Michael a game I'm building just because I feel like building a game I want to play.
Now, are you truly challenging yourself with that, or is it something you could already do well?
Oh no, I've done one other game before, but I didn't do a GUI, a UI
Okay.
for it.
Yeah.
I've come up with concepts. This is the kind of game I've always wanted to kind of build,
Okay.
a factory base builder style because I like playing them, and I've never known how do I do that. So now with Claude doesn't hurt. I'm giving it what I want, and it is because I have to think because it's already been through like 4 steps. I'm like I want a base builder, blah blah blah, and then it goes to the next step. I'm like, oh, and then I go play it. I'm like, oh, but I want to do it. It's like it's that back and forth, and even any kind of programming I do at all, troubleshooting or whatever. I mean, when you're troubleshooting a program, whether it's a game or an app, you're using your brain.
Yes. I guess, and that's my point too, is the fact that you do actually have to tax yourself when you're doing these things. It's not simple. It's not simply doing something you enjoy over and over again. That doesn't create the synapse. It doesn't create the connections in the brain that you're looking for. I personally am trying to play chess.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big one. So you have to be tolerant of a lot of losses, and you have to stick with it. And that is a building thing. If you're looking for something physical, and this is going to sound weird, but juggling actually improves your brain. It improves the spatial
coordination,
all that stuff. And I was surprised to find out that there are medical benefits to that.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so that's interesting. As far as the chess thing goes, I only play the bots. I play an 1100 bot, and I can beat it. I beat 1300. ELOs. I think that's what it's called. Their scores. But that's a random and rare occasion and stuff, and I can't consistently beat the 1100 one. So that's why I'm trying to work at.
Well, and that's helping you not lose your marbles.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'm doing is sitting right there.
There you go. I see that base right there.
Yeah, I got 2 of them. That one sucks. If someone wants to buy it, come buy it. So this one here, I've always played music, or not. No, I can't say that. I've always enjoyed music. I played in high school. Didn't play, and I played drums, so it's not like I played an instrument that goes through a lot of music or notes besides a timpani. But eye-hand coordination, this works my brain.
Yeah, it does. So you're all about base building on the computer and base building.
Nice. Just a one-letter difference.
Getting sharper out of there. Well, anyhow, so let's move on to the cosmic horror you wanted to talk about.
Oh boy, we're gonna light the fire for some trolls now.
Okay,
you ready for the hate comments from every religion? There's not going to be a religion because I'm going to say a very blanket statement, which we've talked about not making.
Yes, don't do this. Do it.
It doesn't matter what your belief is, because whatever is true is actually true, and it's most likely none of us are right. Most likely. And that's my opinion. And there may be hints of something that's right in all religions, that when they have that common, a lot of them have very common threads.
Sure.
You know, some of them have a great flood, some of them have this one, but
The Great Flood is almost universal. That's something else that's interesting. I've studied as much as I've studied comparative religions. I'm a huge fan of Joseph Campbell, The Hero's Journey, and so I'm very deep into this stuff myself. So anyhow, sorry, go ahead.
and you know, and we can go a step further that touches towards conspiracy theories, which we'll even talk about. That's something we definitely want to talk about later.
We need to
By the
talk
way,
about
before you called me, I was watching the Y-Files over here.
I love it.
Anyway, so there's another guy I found, and I'll send you a link to him too.
All right.
A few months ago, he started talking about cryptoids or cryptids or
Cryptids, yeah, sure.
Okay, so do you know what that is?
I believe I do. I mean,
You give me the definition, I'll tell you you're wrong. So go ahead.
okay. So cryptids, I mean, are we talking about cryptids as in creatures that have not been identified on the zoological line yet?
Well, that could be a very good definition for what I'm about to talk about.
Okay.
So yes, the theory, and there was a book written about this in the 70s, and I can't remember the name of it. I'll try to send you the link to the video that mentions it, that talks about aliens.
Sure.
But it also talks about how difficult it would be if those aliens were actually from another planet. So they're saying that maybe, theoretically, they live underground or underwater, and they've been around all over this time. You know, you've heard of the
Anunnaki.
Yeah,
Anunnaki, yes.
cryptids. He goes deep, and that's just another belief.
Okay.
You know, there's evidence that point to it. There's evidence that doesn't. There's no evidence for anything. You know, you can say, but the Bible says so. It's like the Bible was written by men, humans. And we can have now the people are coming out to
now you've done it. Now you've done it. So, but then I'm going to be quick to point out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to be quick to point out that there are chapters and things that are in some Bibles that aren't in other Bibles, or things that were left out. There are scriptures that were not put in there and stuff. Who made that decision? Boy, I can hardly wait.
Edited the video. A person edited the book.
That too, yes.
You know, whether the original fell down from the skies and landed in a lap, or however you want to say it. I mean, I am being coarse and mean and rotten.
How vulgar of you.
Yeah, okay. And I know a lot of you are going to get triggered. Sorry, you know, but
so this arguably is supposed to be a safe space to talk about these things, and hopefully everybody walks away not mad about it, but hopefully we can open discourse. That's what I feel like.
And try to open your mind. I'm sorry I'm being aggressive with my words. I am. I'm just it's just the way
here's the thing really quick that Lori and I have, that my wife and I have, and I think you have this too, which is you know, we'll say something and it's like, you know, I'm just going to put it out there and I'll clean it up later.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? You can say whatever you want to say, and then let's talk about it, and let's smooth the edges out if we need to, or maybe the point needs to be made, and this is the only way you can do it, and you just don't have the words right now to express it in a soft and friendly manner.
Yeah, because again, we do these off the cuff. I don't have a script. I didn't think about how I wanted to say it. I will regret these words later or now. So you can spew all the hate, but maybe you shouldn't. Maybe all I'm trying to do is get you to open your mind, look at all the religions. I mean, I've gone to a handful, and I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form, but I've gone to a handful of different churches. And I mean, handful, like less than 5. So I'm not an expert. I went to a Catholic wedding that was a traditional Catholic wedding, sit down, stand up, kneel for 4 hours or whatever it was. I didn't like it. I'm not one on ceremony, so that's nothing to do with the religion. I don't like ceremony. But you know, my point is, it doesn't matter what you believe in, whether it's cryptids, aliens, God, Buddha, it doesn't matter, because when we die is when we're going to find out what's right. And if my theory, belief, and it's more of a theory than a belief, is that when you die, you don't care because your brain knows, and you're part of your God or your universe or whatever, or it's blank, black, but something, if you just cease to exist, then it doesn't matter,
Gotcha. So
and go ahead.
I was going to say, the question comes up then too, what were you before you were born?
Exactly.
You know,
Even, okay, I saw another video about Buddhist religion, beliefs. Sorry, I got to quit using the word religion. Beliefs is
yeah, I was
more
going
the
to
word.
say beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Buddhism, okay, Buddhism believes in reincarnation, but they don't believe in a soul. Very complicated. But the way it was explained in this video is it's the same thing as two candles. So these are your bodies. One has a fire. That's the fire, is lit, got this flame, and then the flame used to light the other candle. Now you have two flames, but then this
right.
one goes out. But it's not the same flame. So that one kind of blew my mind. I'm like, I don't get it. But it's
So yeah, okay. So I've got some things. I've got
yeah,
things.
that blew my mind. I'm like, because reincarnation has always been reincarnation. You go to the next person and you're the next body or vessel or whatever,
Okay.
and that's how I envision reincarnation. Whether
Okay.
it's true or not, I'm not going to know.
Okay. So that brings up some things. So it's interesting to talk about this, and also keeping it in a scientific vein, or
Yeah.
keeping in line with scientific principles, things that we
Hmm.
can prove. One of the strongest arguments from an atheist that I saw, and it was actually, I think, Ricky Gervais that was talking about this,
Probably.
a comedian. But yes, well, one of his strongest thing was like, if you wiped out all the science books and all the religious texts and we started over again, you would eventually get the same science books.
That
You wouldn't necessarily get, so that's interesting to think about. So
is interesting.
something else though, I think that's interesting for those that are strictly science and only want to believe that and think that the Bible or the religion is the exact opposite of it, or it's a balancing of an equation there, it's one
Hmm.
or the other, then I challenge people, because I'm in charge here, but I
Go
challenge
on.
people then to tell me where the consciousness is.
Nobody can tell you.
Where is that exactly? And if you do anesthesia, where does that part of the brain go that comes back there? So now we're getting into duality. Now we're getting into, the
Oh, so
body
many.
and the main and mind, and where is the connection between the two. So if I also watched a short video about this recently.
Mhm.
You open up somebody's brain, the scientists are looking at it, if they were hypothetically looking at it, um, and they showed you the color red. There's nowhere in the brain that they could tell you how you experienced red. It might
Yeah.
light up because you visually see something, but it doesn't describe the experience that you're having
Hmm.
by seeing the color red. So this is something I think we're going to have to spread over a couple of episodes, because we haven't
Possibly.
even touched on. I haven't even touched on the whole thing that you started with, which is about what we're going to find out afterwards. But to give you something small that I've come to believe or think about recently is, I'm going to say, thinking about God as a fourth dimensional being,
That's one thing too. Yeah, or fifth or sixth or whatever dimension.
or whatever it is, or whatever. Because if you think about a 3D object, and it's funny because now I'm going to tie this into cartoons, because now I'm going to talk. Now I'm going to talk about what was it? Adventure Time, where Finn. Anyhow, the point is, if you take a bubble, it's a 3D bubble. It's a
Hmm.
round thing, but it casts a two-dimensional shadow.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
what's a fourth dimensional thing is, so
It
it's
casts a
going to
three-dimensional.
appear. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are on a two-dimensional plane, something that's three-dimensional is going to appear to disappear, reappear in other places or whatever.
And I think Carl Sagan, I think that's a what you're talking about is they got that example from Carl Sagan. If you
Okay.
look back in like old videos that are on YouTube from like the 70s of Carl Sagan, that's kind of how he explained it because he showed a 2D map.
Okay.
2D and says you're in your room, you're in your boxes and you're a little dot in a square.
Yeah.
He goes, if an apple comes through, you only see one slice.
1 point of it, one slice. That's it. Yes.
And an infinitesimal width because you are you're only two dimensions, but that third dimension is zero.
It's beyond you. It's yeah.
You don't know, so you can only see that little piece, and it's just so. What's in the fourth? We wouldn't, That's when you see, that's when. This is going to go on a theory level now. That's when people see ghosts.
Yes. See, I was going to go there also. Exactly. We have completely lost control of this episode. I'm not sure where we're going. But this is
dude. I've got another thing I want to talk about that kind of relates to this, in an essence, because it's a lot of the beliefs that you have are based on your own experiences, and we've talked about that in the previous videos.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think we're going deep on this one.
Yeah,
and I would like to. Well, the problem is we're going to actually record this video, the second version, right after this one. So if you've left a lot of hate comments or whatever, we're not going to see them yet.
Oh yeah, we won't see them. So be sure to leave hate comments on this one and the next one, and eventually we'll get to it.
And then we'll respond to you in kind. Possibly
no, we're not supposed to be.
No, with a block or a bye. It's like
yes.
With trolls, I don't tolerate trolls. I just don't. Like if you can't say anything constructive, shut up.
Well, and so I mean that's the most important thing to do too. Is like you're not. I was starting to say you're not going to convince me, but try. But I'm open to it. That's it. This should be a dialogue. It should be back and forth. And if you have an opinion that differs or you think we're wrong, tell us about it and we can talk about it.
Yeah, but don't troll it.
Think about it.
Don't say we're stupid. Don't say we're da.
Yeah, don't end it with that. Don't make it a closed-ended. Leave an open-ended statement, and there's room for us all to grow.
And quite honestly, if we have enough good comments that spark debate, we'll answer them in video.
Sure, absolutely.
But again, if you're a troll, you'll be blocked. So
Simple as that. Simple as that. Exactly.
Anyway.
All right. Wow, this has just gone off the rails, but we'll try to rein it back in next. Maybe I don't know, or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll go even deeper. Yes, next week.
Maybe we'll make it worse. This will be the new direction of the channel.
That is entirely possible. For sure. Wow. So I've been Michael.
If you really hate us, share the video.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. The best way to make fun of us is to share this video with lots of people.
And look at these guys.
Look how dumb they are. I've been Michael.
I've been Brad.
And this has been Unprofessional Therapy, no degrees, just decades. And I can't wait to talk some more about this stuff.
We will in 2 minutes.
Yes.